welcome to Uncle Ponte. Folks, I was off and I was trying to stretch my mind, and so in stretching my mind, I was travelling up and down to Dublin on the train. And on my return journey, I spent some time sitting in Heuston Station. And there was a group of individuals in this station that really caught my attention. They were there every morning, every evening, without fail, they were there. And these group of individuals were so comfortable in their own skin. They just oozed confidence. They were comfortable in their environment. They just looked like they belonged. They were so content. It just intrigued me no end. In fact, you could go and say that they were unflappable. They had a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership even, like they were supposed to be there. And it really caught my attention. In fact, the word I would use about these individuals was, it appeared like Heuston Station was home. That's where they belonged. I watched as some of the other commuters tried to move them out of their way. They wouldn't move. I watched as they were tried to go and hush them out of the way. No, they just belonged there. It was their place. They weren't going to move anywhere. In fact, when I started to do some research, I discovered that they had even been in court or represented in court because an incident had taken place regarding their behavior from some years previous. And I'm surprised that there's only one incident took place. So what am I talking about? These individuals that are comfortable in their own skin, comfortable in their own environment, oozing confidence, content, unflappable, with a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership, like this was indeed home. That's right. I am talking about the pigeons that were in Heuston Station. And as I said, a court case took place because, due to them defecating, a person had had an accident. But this was what was said about them in court, said pigeons. Regarding the defendants who hadn't done anything or hadn't done enough about the pigeons, this is what was said. The first and second defendants were both well aware that there was a very serious problem with pigeons coming into the building, and the only work that seemed to have been undertaken was of a type to make life uncomfortable for the pigeons in the building. Note, it was just to make them life uncomfortable. Now, I will tell you, my testimony is that they felt and looked far from uncomfortable. Among the work carried out, there were places of spikes, fire gel, a hawk on a pole, with which the pigeons had become very acquainted, and humane traps. No permanent solution has been found to the problem. You see, they were at home. But when I was thinking about the pigeons and just how at home they are in Heuston Station, and I watched a little girl running and trying to chase them and get them to fly off, they wouldn't do it, they wouldn't move. You know, it reminded me of Psalm 84, where the psalmist goes and tells us of the birds finding a home in the tabernacle, in God's dwelling place. And this is what it goes and says: how lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty. My soul yearns and even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Even the sparrow has found a home, and a swallow a nest for herself, where she may have her young, a place near your altar. Notice what it goes and says: even the sparrow has found a home. These pigeons were not homing pigeons. These were just your common pigeons. But they were at home in Heuston Station. They own the place. There may be human activity taking place there, but it belongs to them. And the question that comes to my mind, is that how it is that you feel when you meet with fellow Christian brothers and sisters, that you feel comfortable in your own skin, that you're comfortable in that environment with fellow human beings, and of course the risen Christ, because where two or three of us gather in his name, there he is. Does it help you to just ooze confidence in your spirit and soul? Are you someone who's content in the presence of God's people? Does it cause you to be unflappable? Give you a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership? In fact, that when you come and meet with God's people in whatever place that is, be it a house group, be it church, be wherever it is, where you are meeting with fellow believers, are you in fact at home? I was really struck by that, because this is what the psalmist is yearning for, is to be in the presence of the Lord and with his people. And just as the swallow is at home, and just as the sparrow can actually set up home by building a nest for her young, he wants to have that same sense while he's in the presence of God's people. Now here's a question. Do you have that sense? Are you like the pigeons in Houston Station at home? Thank you for joining me for this on Cup on Tay, and I hope you enjoyed another little bird story.